How can you increase the playability of a building like this tavern or these dungeon tiles with something as simple as a 1-inch cube of XPS foam? Find out how this week on Tabletop Witchcraft. Hey there, it's John from Tabletop Witchcraft. This week we're going to do a fun little build that's going to increase the playability of all your current buildings and dungeon tiles. And all it's going to require is a little piece of XPS foam and a few other small crafting ingredients. For your current buildings, we're going to make bulkheads and trapdoors. And for your dungeon tiles, we're going to make sewer manholes and levers for your players to interact with. Alright, go grab some supplies and let's get crafting. Alright, let's start out by grabbing some chipboard, some XPS foam, some 3/4 inch washers, some tacky glue, some door handles that we've made out of green stuff, some cooking twine, and a X-Acto knife and a clay sculpting tool, and you probably want to grab an alpha knife as well. So let's start out by cutting out a 1-inch square piece of XPS foam, 3/16 of an inch thick, and go around the perimeter with a pen to draw out the edge of our stonework. And now we're going to draw in some woodwork here, some wood planks. We're making a door hatch here. So go ahead and add some stonework around the outside of that. And then you're going to want to go ahead and use this little texture roller here to add some texture to the stone. And then the clay sculpting tool to add some texture for each wood plank. Once you get that cut out, go ahead and cut out a door hinge out of some chipboard. And you can go ahead and come up with kind of any design you want here. Kind of came up with a simple one, but that works well. Now we want to weight these things so that they're not flying around the table. So I used a 3/4 inch washer, mark out the circumference around there, and then just score it and use the clay sculpting tool to pull out all those little pieces right there. And now we're going to cut a 1-inch square piece of chipboard. Adding some glue into that piece of foam we cut out, we'll add a washer for weight. Then once you got that in there, go ahead and add some hot glue to the whole piece and then stick the chipboard right on top of that. So now it's nice and weighted. Now we'll just add a little bit of hot glue to one of the pre-made green stuff handles. I'll put a link above to that description if you want to check that video out. And now we'll go ahead and just grab some Mod Podge and we'll paint the whole piece. It's a mixture of Mod Podge, a little bit of water, and some black paint. And we'll go ahead and paint the whole thing. Now we'll use a little bit of deco art. It's a graphite gray that I'm using here. I find this combination works really well when you're making stone. So it's the graphite gray. Paint the whole edge of that up, and then we'll go ahead and we'll take a little bit of chocolate brown. Again, use any kind of brown you want. You don't have to stick to these colors exactly. The outside's stone, the inside's wood. But this here is a chocolate brown. Again, it's by Deco Art. Then we'll go ahead and this is a metallic color. I forget the exact name, but it's from Games Workshop. And we'll go ahead and we'll paint the hinges up here on the door hatch. Try and get obviously the top. If you can get the sides, get the sides. Then we'll go on here with a dry brush with an apple barrel gray on all the stonework. Again, not only on the edge, but you want to try and get the top little piece there as well. And then hit it with a wash and then one more dry brush, and that's what it should look like when you're done. Now we'll go ahead and we're going to make a sewer manhole. Use the 3/4 inch washer to mark out the circle. And now we're going to just draw in some holes here, like where the water is going to go down into the sewer. And just take your time with that. Once you have that in there, use a X-Acto to score each one of those little holes out. And then just use something sharp or pointy that you have to pop each one of those pieces of foam out for the grate. And then go around the whole piece with a pen to define that grate so it really stands out from this stonework that we're going to draw in afterwards. And then like before, go ahead and just continue that stonework around the whole piece. Alright, and we're going to weight this one obviously as well, the same way we did the first. And the painting, again, same as the other one. We're going to use the same colors as before, but again, just a great color. dry brush with the lighter gray. Here, same metallic color, we're going to color up that sewer grate, and then we'll add a little bit of rust effect to it when we're done. I actually put a little bit of green in between the grates as well. Alright, now we're going to make a bulkhead for any building that you're going to want to use this on. It's a very versatile piece here. Just cut it at a little bit of an angle like that, and then with a rectangular piece over it for the door, hot glue it in place. And now, just like we did with the hatch, we're going to draw in our woodwork here, and we're going to be a really defined line right down the middle, because that's going to be the separation between the door. And then we'll just have 2 large planks for this. So go ahead and draw in your wood grain afterwards, and then your stonework around the entire piece. Alright, now like we did before, we'll cut out a little bit of a different shape here for the door hinges. Again, come up with whatever design you want. Glue those in place, slap on a few green stuff, pre-made door handles, and you're good to go. Now, just for a little bit more definition, instead of painting these on, I'm just like kind of drilling into these door hinges with an X-Acto, for like little screw holes, kind of holding this all in place. And go ahead and vary all this up too, like color-wise. I mean, I'm just trying to simplify this here in the video, but you can use any color you want for the stonework, the wood. And again, here I'm doing a little bit of a bronze color now, just to change it up for all of the hinges. And then, give it a wash, dark wash, bring it up with a light dry brush, and you're good to go. All right, now this one's a good one here. We're gonna go ahead and cut this shape out. Again, 1-inch piece of XPS foam. It's probably about 3/4 of an inch tall, and you're going to then cut out a little rectangular piece and glue it in place. And then once you have that in place, you're gonna cut this little sliver out of it. We're making the door, not a door, a lever here for your PCs when they're in your dungeon and you're trying to trip them up on something, or if you're gonna do a puzzle or whatever for them. So use your clay sculpting tool, carve out the center of this piece right here, and that's going to be where the handle's going to move or rotate. Now we're going to use a little ground texture by Vallejo, some stone. I've had this kicking around for a while from a past build. I figured, why not try this instead of just rolling this in foil. Now I find this is best when you have like a couple of layers on here. The first layer really doesn't coat that well, but you'll find once you put that second layer on, you're really good to go. So hit it with some Mod Podge, and then we're going right back to our standard stone painting color here. And as you can see, this really takes the dry brush really well, because that stone is like that material in this ground texture, it's really sticking out. So once we have that done, we'll go ahead and hit this up with a wash. Now we're going to take a barbecue skewer and cut it about an inch, inch and a quarter long, paint it brown, and then add a little bit of super glue to the top of this piece right here, and then just twist it around, and as you're twisting it, add some more super glue, and that will keep the rope in place for the handle for the door. I keep saying that, but for the lever here. Now once you get that in place, go ahead, grab some wash. This is an Agrax Earthshade, again from Games Workshop. As you can see, I use quite a bit of this stuff, and then paint that right on there and glue it in place, and you're good to go. So these are just a couple of ideas of what you can do with a 1-inch cube of XPS foam to change the course of your campaign or game night. Let me know in the comments below what you might do with a 1-inch cube of foam to change your game. I want to let everybody know now that I have Patreon. Head on over there. I got 9 different tiers that you can choose from. And it's support on Patreon and sites like DriveThruRPG that really helps fund the channel and allows me to get new media, tools, and gear. And I really appreciate it. Alright, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification for all further videos here on Tabletop Witchcraft. And until next time, I'll see you around.